Hello then, a warm welcome to all of you here on the news tonight here on Sabha TV. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and in the next 30 minutes I'll be taking you through the day's top stories. This Thursday evening, lots making news, so let's start with the headlines. India outrightly rejects Pakistani claims of spying. Both sides exchange heavy fire along the line of control after Pakistani Rangers violate ceasefire again. CBI asked Supreme Court to allow the SIT to file charge sheets in the Vyapam scam case. Apex Court to hear the petition next week. Union Cabinet approves a plan to refurbish 400 railway stations. Approves the setting up of expert group to classify caste-based data of socio-economic and caste census. And a day after the Greek Parliament votes in favour of the European Union's bailout programme, Eurozone ministers meet to decide emergency funding to keep Greek banks afloat. Our top story this evening on national politics. BJP President Amit Shah today formally launched his party's campaign for the Bihar Assembly election. He flagged off 160 raths draped in banners featuring Prime Minister Narendra Modi, making it clear that the Prime Minister is the face of the NDA in the Bihar elections. The BJP President was joined by allies Ramvilas Paswan, Upendra Kushwaha and Jitaram Manjhi at the campaign launch. Take a look.
BJP President Amit Shah sounded the poll bugle in Bihar on Thursday, promising to replicate the NDA government's good governance in Bihar. The BJP president flagged off as many as 160 Parivartan Raths or chariots of change from Patna. These Parivartan Raths will travel to every nook and corner of the state, urging people to vote for change.
बिहार के हर गांव में बिजली पहुंचेगा क्या? हर गांव में एम्बुलेंस पहुंचेगी? हर गांव में सड़क पहुंचेगी? हर गांव रोड से जुड़ जाएगा क्या? बिहार के बेरोजगार को नौकरी मिलेगी क्या? बिहार के अंदर उद्योग लगेंगे क्या? किसान के उत्पादन को, धान और गेहूं को सरकार के द्वारा खरीदा जाएगा क्या? अगर ये सब करना है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेतृत्व में एनडीए की सरकार.
Addressing a public rally in Patna, Shah took a swipe at the RJD-JDU alliance, saying it is a union of convenience. He urged voters to move beyond caste and religion and vote for development.
कोई जात पात की बात करेगा, कोई धर्म की बात करेगा, मजहब की बात करेगा, मगर मित्रों एक ही बात याद रखिएगा कि बिहार की हर समस्या का समाधान विकास में है.
Wooing voters, the BJP president also listed out the NDA government's pro-poor schemes like Jan Dhan and subsidized insurance. He was joined by allies LJP chief Ramvilas Paswan, RLSP head Upendra Kushwaha and former Chief Minister Jitaram Manjhi at the event, indicating a clear message of unity in the alliance. The next big political activity by the NDA is scheduled for the 25th of July when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a mega rally in Muzaffarpur. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, for more on this, we're joined this evening by JP Yadav, Assistant Editor at The Telegraph, joining us in studio this evening. Mr. Yadav, just about 4 or 5 days back, the BJP-led NDA won 13 Legislative Council seats. And that was, of course, being seen as a big booster to the BJP especially. And today, coming out with his announcement, making it very clear that Modi is going to be the face of the Bihar elections. What do you think of that strategy?
Modi is an obvious choice because there are too many CM contenders in Bihar. So naturally they are trying to exploit this victory in the Legislative Council elections and build a campaign, a big blitzkrieg, so that they can win the hearts and minds of the people in Bihar. And naturally after the failed experiment in Delhi of announcing a CM candidate in advance, they want to adopt that strategy of making it a Modi versus Nitish or Nitish and Lalu versus Modi game. That is quite clear because they feel that strategy of projecting a chief minister has a lot of ramifications because there are a lot of contenders for the CM posts. So they are naturally decided, it's almost decided now that they'll go with Modi's face.
Isn't that also going to be a risk though if it doesn't work out in the BJP's favor, if it doesn't work out in the NDA's favor, they're going to actually blame the Prime Minister if they do suffer a loss?
Yes, the risk is involved, but probably they might have worked their strategy properly, and they must have carried out surveys and felt that this is the best bet. After Delhi, they are not going to risk any CM candidate. Because they also know the reality in the party there. There are too many contenders, so that will spoil the game. And Bihar is very important for them at this juncture. If they don't win, it's going to be a big jolt to their entire campaign and Modi's good governance. So they, in Bihar, they realize they need to have a big face challenging Nitish Kumar, because Nitish Kumar is a very tall leader in Bihar.
All right. Also, if you could very quickly speak about the other factors, Jitaram Manjhi, it was a given pretty much that he would be pretty much going towards the BJP, considering, of course, how his relations have been now with Nitish and, of course, Congress going with Nitish. But give us a sense about that Mahadalit factor. Is that going to be weighing heavily on Nitish?
Certainly, certainly that is a big factor. Jitan Ram Manjhi will be a big factor in this election, because despite all their exhortations and all that, caste we should rise above caste, Bihar should rise above caste. Caste is a reality,
Yes.
and the BJP is also trying to use that. Jitan Ram Manjhi, Ramvilas Paswan, Upendra Kushwaha, they are also trying to build a rainbow kind of coalition for the caste. They are also trying to send a message to the different caste groups कि we are not only an upper caste party, which the BJP is generally regarded to be in the heartland. So, Jitan Ram Manjhi will be an important player in this game, but they also don't want Jitan Ram Manjhi to take the forefront. They don't want him to become the mascot. They want to use his vote bank, they want to get the votes, but keep him in the back seat. That is their strategy.
All right. Very quickly, of course, this is, of course, later on what we do see eventually in campaigning and everything. But, you know, you yourself mentioned there are a lot of CM hopefuls within the NDA as well. Upendra Kushwaha, for one, in fact, came out saying that he is ready to be the CM face. Do you see problems for the NDA later on? Could that, you know, prove a disappointment for them later on when it gets closer to election time?
If they don't announce a CM candidate, then everybody will aspire कि I could also be a CM candidate.
Yes.
Who knows? Because
Yes.
Modi has been known for springing surprises, given the states recently that went to the elections, Haryana, Jharkhand, Maharashtra. You see candidates who were not in Haryana, probably in Jharkhand, very marginalized people, they were catapulted to that
Yes,
post.
yes.
So everybody might that way compete together. Let's perform and prove to him that I can be the best chief ministerial candidate. I have got you the maximum number of votes.
Yes, maybe that will in fact propel them to perform better, you know, as campaigning begins. Thanks so much, Mr. Yadav, for joining us with those details there. And now shifting our focus on the growing tension on the line of control. Just hours after Pakistan shot down what they claimed was an Indian spy drone, more ceasefire violations continue by Pakistani rangers. India has vehemently denied the spy drone theory, resulting in a diplomatic war of words and political rumblings on the domestic front as well. Here are the details.
Yet another round of ceasefire violations by Pakistan. This time in the Araspura sector on the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. There are reports of at least 3 civilians injured in gunfire on the Indian side a day after a woman lost her life.
There was an infiltration attempt by 3 suspected terrorists in the Jammu sector at Indreshwar Nagar. They were given covering fire by Pakistani post Jamshed. As our forces retaliated, the exchange of fire expanded to include some nearby posts. The Pakistani side also resorted to mortar firing, which was responded to effectively by us.
In New Delhi, Home Minister Rajnath Singh called an emergency meeting with Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, with the government looking to send out a strong message on the ceasefire violation issue.
We remain committed to steps that contribute to ensuring peace and tranquility on the border. However, there should be no doubt that any unprovoked firing from the Pakistani side would meet with an effective and forceful response from our forces, nor will we let down our guard against infiltration and counterterrorism.
Border tensions gave rise to a new row on Thursday. This is the drone device at the center of the latest India-Pakistan spat, as allegedly photographed near the line of control on the Pakistan side. Pakistan claims it shot down the drone on Wednesday as it flew over the LOC from the Indian side, fuel enough for the diplomatic storm through Thursday. The Indian High Commissioner in Islamabad summoned and a protest lodged. Strong words from the Pak Foreign Secretary Ajaz Ahmed and outright rejection by India, pointing out it never used such a China-made spy device. Watchers have dismissed Pakistan's allegations, terming them another sign of its desperation.
They are just blaming for all their local problems to India. Second thing, they are also trying to create some sort of panic in India. So these are the very old tactics, it doesn't work in the age of computer, in the age of information technology.
The ceasefire violations come days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif met in Ufa and signalled a possible rapprochement, and a day before Modi's Jammu visit on Friday. Once again, raising questions on Pakistan's intentions.
After a very constructive meeting in Ufa between Prime Minister of India and Pakistan, how things changed so dramatically and negatively, the answer has to be given by Pakistan. Akhilesh Suman with camera person DK Pandey in Delhi for Rajya Sabha television.
And with that, time for a short break here. But up next, Rahul Gandhi steps up the campaign against the land bill in build-up to the monsoon session.
Cancer is becoming a very, very important disease of our country. It's not as rare as it used to be earlier. Brain happens to be the most challenging of them, and we don't still have answers to many of them.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Chitra Shorkar, neuropathologist at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences on Rajya Sabha television. Get live Rajya Sabha session. News, views, reports and analysis you can trust on social media. Subscribe, follow, like Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, the NDA government approved a plan to refurbish 400 railway stations in which the Swiss challenge method will be used to award contracts. Also, the cabinet approved setting up an expert group to classify the caste-based data of the socio-economic and caste census. Here's a report.
In a bid to accelerate redevelopment of railway stations, the Union Cabinet approved an innovative plan for proposals through open invitation for 400 stations.
जो 400 A1 और A कैटेगरी के रेलवे स्टेशंस क्लासिफाई किए जाएंगे, कोई भी क्रेडेंशियल्स रखने वाला व्यक्ति उसको अपना डेवलपमेंट करने का प्रपोजल सरकार को दे सकता है. उस प्रपोजल को नेट के ऊपर डाल दिया जाएगा और फिर कोई दूसरा व्यक्ति उसको इंप्रूव करना या उस प्रपोजल को बीट करना अपना वैकल्पिक सुझाव देगा. एक्सपर्ट कमेटी होगी जो बेस्ट प्रपोजल को स्वीकार करेगी और सार्वजनिक देगी, और जो ओरिजिनल प्रपोजल था उसको एक मौका मिलेगा कि उस प्रपोजल को स्वीकार करने का.
In other decisions taken on Thursday, the Cabinet also approved repealing and amending 3rd Bill 2015, Phase 2 of E-Court's Mission Mode project, introduction of composite caps for simplification of FDI policy, and Phase 2 of National Cyclone Risk Mitigation project. The Cabinet also gave its approval to set up an expert group led by Niti Aayog Vice Chairman to classify caste-based data of the socio-economic and caste census.
और आज ये तय हुआ कि नीति आयोग के वाइस चेयरमैन डॉक्टर अरविंद पानीग्रिया की अध्यक्षता में एक कमेटी रहेगी जो इस कास्ट डेटा को क्लासिफाई करेगी और फिर जो उस उपयुक्त समय पर यह कार्रवाई जब पूरी हो जाएगी, इसको सार्वजनिक किया जाएगा।
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs also gave its approval to 6-laning the Eastern Peripheral Expressway in Haryana and Uttar Pradesh and the creation of an interstate transmission system in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Himachal, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV, Delhi.
The Supreme Court today agreed to hear the CBI's petition to allow the SIT to file charge sheets in the Vyapam scam cases in which the investigation is over. A 3-judge bench fixed the hearing on the 20th of July and asked the CBI to serve the copy of the application to the parties concerned.
The Supreme Court on Thursday issued notices to the centre and the state government on a PIL over admissions to private medical colleges of Madhya Pradesh. The Supreme Court will hear on July 20th a CBI petition to allow the Special Investigation Team to file charge sheets in the Vyapam scam cases.
एक चेयरमैन की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि वो पूरा मॉनिटर करे कि चीज़ें सही तरीके से चल रही हैं। ऐसे जिस आदमी पर एक तरीके से संदेह है, ऐसे व्यक्ति को ताबड़तोड़ नियुक्ति देना और उसको लाभ पहुंचाना कहीं न कहीं संदेह खड़ा करता है और निश्चित ही इसमें मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान की कार्यप्रणाली पर संदेह खड़ा होता है।
The CBI said transfer of more than 185 Vyapam scam cases will take time. It argued that the accused will otherwise get statutory bail on account of default of non-filing of charge sheets in the stipulated time period. The court passed the order while hearing a batch of petitions, including one filed by senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh, into all cases arising out of the Vyapam scam. On July 9th, the Supreme Court ordered transfer of the probe into all Vyapam scam cases to the CBI. So far, 160 accused have been named in the case. The names include Gulab Singh Kirar, who is allegedly close to Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Gearing up to take on the government in the upcoming monsoon session of Parliament, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi has once again stepped up his campaign against the NDA government's land acquisition bill. Rahul held a Padyatra today in Rajasthan's Hanumangarh district, reaching out to farmers, assuring them that his party will not let the government acquire even an inch of land in the country without the landowner's consent. He once again accused the centre of neglecting the poor and working only for crony capitalists. He also attacked Prime Minister Modi for his silence on corruption cases against his ministers.
तो मैं आपसे सिर्फ यहाँ एक बात कहने आया हूँ। कांग्रेस पार्टी सिर्फ राजस्थान में नहीं, बाकी हिंदुस्तान में बीजेपी से, एनडीए सरकार से लड़ेगी और हम उनको 1 इंच जमीन नहीं देंगे, 1 इंच आगे बढ़ने नहीं देंगे।
With that, let's get you more updates from across the country in Nationwide. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to his Lok Sabha constituency was cancelled today due to heavy rains and the electrocution of a worker at the venue of his public meeting. This is the second time in about 3 weeks when Modi's Varanasi trip has been postponed. 4 people were killed and 3 injured in a cylinder blast at Mumbai's Santa Cruz area today. The blast took place in a slum at Golibar. One injured person who sustained nearly 90% burns in the mishap was rushed to the Kasturba Gandhi Hospital, while the 2 others hurt were rushed to the V.N. Desai Hospital. The Lucknow bench of the Allahabad High Court has ordered a CBI probe into charges of corruption and irregularities against former Chief Engineer of Noida Authority, Yadav Singh. The Uttar Pradesh government suspended Yadav Singh in the wake of an income tax raid at his residence last year that unearthed crores in cash and jewellery. The Indian Army foiled an infiltration bid along the LOC in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir today. Army troops guarding the borderline fired upon the militants who were trying to enter the Indian side along the LOC. BSE Sensex and Nifty headed towards their highest close in 3 months, led by gains in financial and energy stocks on hopes that a fall in oil prices due to the Iran nuclear deal will lower import costs and interest rates. BSE Sensex gained 248 points to close at 28,446. Nifty gained 84 points to close at 8,608. And up next, international news, and an archaeologist strikes Nazi gold. Details of that ahead.
Today we bring to you the Benami Transactions Prohibition Amendment Bill 2015.
I feel that there is a lot of overlapping and there may not be any certainty of the action that may be taken under this act.
If we have to challenge the bill or the act on the basis of saying that it's a retrospective effect, you have to show that the offence was not a continuing one.
Watch Law of the Land Saturday at 6:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get to some international news now. And after marathon meetings, Eurozone ministers agreed to lend Greece 7 billion euros as an interim loan to keep its finances afloat until a bailout is approved. This comes just a day after the Greek parliament voted in favour of the EU bailout programme despite strong opposition to the measures. Meanwhile, the European Central Bank agreed to increase emergency funding to Greece for the first time since it was frozen in June.
Cash-strapped Greece getting back its lifeline. A day after its parliament approved the European Union's tough bailout deal, Eurozone finance ministers agreed to reopen funding to Greece with a 7 billion euro bridge loan that is expected to be confirmed by all member states on Friday. The European Central Bank will also increase emergency funding for the first time since it was frozen in June.
We substantially accommodated the request put forward by the Bank of Greece, recalibrated over 1 week. So the increase would be 900 million over 1 week. Now things have changed now. We had a series of news with the approval of the bridge financing package, with the various votes in various parliaments, to begin with in the Greek parliament, which have now restored the conditions for a raise in ELA.
The mandate will pave way for the Eurozone finance ministers to open detailed talks on the bailout that is worth up to 86 billion euros. The Finnish parliament has already approved the bailout talks. Finland is one of the Eurozone states that require a mandate from their own parliament for Greece to secure new funds. The German parliament is due to vote on the deal on Friday.
I'm glad to announce that today we have a mandate from the Finnish government and the parliament on 2 accounts. Number one is bridge financing based on the proposal of the Commission of 7 billion euros. And number two, the beginning of negotiations on an additional ESM program.
Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras won the backing of the parliament in the early hours of Thursday for the stringent reform measures demanded by Greece creditors led by Germany, but was left weakened by a revolt in his left-wing Syriza party. 38 of his own MPs voted against the reforms, though watchers say his government will likely survive. The vote in the parliament saw a spate of verbal duels and theatrics, the ripping up of the bailout agreement and the blame flying thick and fast.
Είμαι ανοιχτός να ακούσω τις εναλλακτικές επιλογές και μαζί να προχωρήσουμε σε αυτές. Εάν θεωρείτε ότι είναι πραγματικός όμως, τότε δεν υπάρχει άλλη επιλογή από το να μοιραστούμε όλοι το βάρος αυτής της ευθύνης.
For the common man, any possibilities of banks reopening after multiple rounds of talks offer the only hope. It's been 2 weeks now since restrictions kicked in. Greece is seeking up to 86 billion euros in a third rescue package in return for tougher austerity measures and structural reforms. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more international news and updates, here's Global Buzz. Thousands of angry protesters gathered in front of the Japanese parliament in Tokyo after Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's coalition approved the security bills in the lower house. The bill will turn the nation's retiring self-defense forces into more proactive fighting unit. If the lower house does not take any vote after 60 days, they will be returned to the lower house where Abe's coalition can enact them with a 2/3 majority. French intelligence agents detained 4 people on suspicion of planning a terrorist plot against its military installations. The 4 suspects, aged between 16 and 23 years, were arrested in 4 different parts of the country. One of them is a former sailor in the French Navy. An amateur archaeologist found a historic collection of gold coins in Lüneburg in Germany, probably from the Nazi era. The value of the coins is worth 45,000 euros. 10 coins were initially found under a tree, after which professionals excavated another 207 coins. They are of French, Belgian, Italian and Austro-Hungarian origin and date from 1831 to 1910. Israeli warplanes struck a terror infrastructure in Gaza in response to the rocket fired from a Palestinian enclave. The military said that the rocket landed early Thursday in an open area near the city of Ashkelon. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the rocket fire and no injuries or deaths were reported. And now on the news tonight, time for some sports action in Sports Beat. The second Ashes match is underway at Lord's. After a convincing victory in the first test, England are trying to extend their lead. Though the visitors are the current holders of the Ashes urn, the home side looked more promising and keen on retaining it. The first test match at Cardiff witnessed the 6th-ranked English side registering a convincing 169-run victory over the number 2 test side, Australia. Bangladesh registered the 4th consecutive ODI series victory at home after humbling South Africa by 9 wickets in a rain-hit 3rd ODI on Wednesday. South Africa managed 168 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in the first innings that was reduced to 40 overs aside. Shomi Sharkar's 90 runs and Tamim Iqbal's 61 led Bangladesh to an easy victory. Sharkar was named the player of the series. Sri Lanka levelled the 5-match ODI series against Pakistan after claiming a 2-wicket victory in the second one-day on Wednesday. Azhar Ali's 79 and Shoaib Malik's 51-run contribution took Pakistan to 287 for 8 in the first innings. Kushal Perera hit the second fastest ODI 50 with 68 runs in 25 balls, getting Sri Lanka a blistering start, while chasing before Dinesh Chandimal's 48 runs sealed the victory for the Lankans. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Join us again tomorrow. From the entire team here, good night.